Here we go. Now, I'm very excited about this practice. I worked through it last night and I felt like 3 inches taller. This is one of, one of the benefits of a yin practice. You're stretching into deep connective tissues. We decompress the body in asana in general, but having, long held time, this very dedicated time to being, stretching connective tissues, the benefits are great. So have with you somewhere near, I have a towel for cushioning, I have a bolster for cushioning, and I have blocks as well. We'll start normal as we do with legs up the wall. So go ahead and bring your whatever hip as close to the wall as possible. Come down onto your elbows and lift your legs up. There should be a distance from your hips to the wall, something that is tolerable. And my gauge is the length of my hand. So from my wrist to my fingers, that's about as far from the wall. You should be able to have your legs on the wall without feeling that you have to hold them there. This is a yin class. So yin is typified by passive postures. This will be our home position throughout the next 90 minutes. So let's tune in. Tune into your breath. Feel the weight of your body against the earth, your heels against the wall. If you feel, like you're still settling, feel free to shift your hips a little bit, maybe kind of resituate yourself. And begin long, slow breathing with a special consciousness today on long, slow breathing. With your legs up the wall, of course, benefits to the heart, the circulatory system. It does require some circulatory effort to move the blood, against gravity, quote unquote. Of course, this is a perfectly healthy way to hold your body in space, legs up the wall. The breath, the respiratory system, working in conjunction, of course, with the circulatory system. So long, deep breathing today. We're in the depths of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere, and especially this particular day. So it is normal to feel the need for rest, to allow for the space and time. So consciously breathing, supporting this deep need for quiet. Rest in yourself. As we do in our practices, have a mindful awareness, a simple attention to what's going on. When you catch yourself in a, clenched up way, maybe be with that for a moment. Be with that. What is that about before the process of release? What does it feel like? What is the texture of the contraction? Is there color to it? Let's take a full body stretch. Reach your arms long overhead and stretch, reach right and left side. It might feel good to press your heels into the wall and slightly lift your pelvis off the earth. Relax your jaw. Make your way back to center with your arms. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Relax your chest, your shoulders, your collarbones, and apply pressure with hands on thighs. Up to you, obviously, the amount of pressure and the way that you are applying it. Maybe you're alternating right and left. Maybe you are sliding your hand from the bottom of the hip up toward the knee. Perhaps you have your hands and are massaging your legs. Conscious breath, steady, continuous. In our mindfulness practice, perhaps we shift that idea into heartfulness and bring the simple attention from the heart, a loving kindness. If you are making movements, even yourself out. Lots of external rotation today, so we'll start with a wall squat. With your body exactly where it is, bend both knees. So your feet are on the wall, knees bent as deeply as feels okay. Entire spine from the pelvis to the crown on the floor. I like to bring my arms to the insides of my knees just to add some weight. And settle in here. You don't have to have your feet completely flat to the wall. And notice where your feet are pointing. So is it, is one foot more rotated outward or inward than the other? Make any adjustments that make sense here in this first 30 seconds, and then settle in for 3 minutes. Most of our postures will be 3-minute holds today. I do like movement with my yin, not as a distraction, not an invitation to fidget, but if it feels appropriate for you, and this could be your internal intuitiveness, this noticing that there has been a blockage freed up or some stagnant energy, some prana ready to shift. So this is also part of our practice, like let that stagnant energy move. as we develop our various practices with meditation, breathing, and asana, we prepare our body and our mind for deeper levels of experience and meditation. And finally, absorption. So we strengthen our prana body by working and releasing these stuck areas. Of course, we practice all of the things without attachment to the results. This is one of the biggest lessons. No expectations. Of course, we want to feel good in our bodies, right? But even in our practices, we'll come across, sensations that are not pleasant. So, classified that way. But, how does it feel to be with that? As long as it isn't, a pain, how does it feel to be with the discomfort? Just about 30 more seconds here. Shift a little bit side to side. And then make your way back into center. Can you open your feet a little wider? Maybe without an aggressive quality but to just deepen into this, because we will be endeavoring into some deeper hip opening. There is our timer. Use your hands. Scoop up your knees. Hold your legs gently at your body for just a moment. Relax your shoulders. Take a big breath in, sigh it out. Stretch one or both legs up simultaneously, eventually both legs straight up the wall. It might not feel like much in the posture, it might not feel like much, and then suddenly it's like, okay, there is the desired effect. Relax the muscles of your face and tune back into your conscious, steady breath. Gently shift hips side to side. Flex out through the heels and then through the ball mound. Point and flex. Bring hands to thigh bones. Apply some pressure gently, steadily, shoulders back. Allow your heart to open. Breathe in. Exhale, release, sigh it out. Arms to your sides. Please bend your left ankle over the right thigh for eye of the needle pose. Once you place your ankle over the knee, bend your right leg so your foot is flat to the wall-ish. So for me, I know that I need to scooch back a little bit, and I'm just going to use my shoulders and hips to walk back an inch or two. That way I can get my right foot flat and feel that I am supported and safe in the pose. Broaden across the chest. Take a few moments to gently rock your knees side to side. I say gently a lot, don't I? It should be a given, you know. Rock your knees side to side. As you add movement, notice where tensions might arise. Have a sense of curiosity. And know that these tensions are our teachers. This is an opportunity, right? I read a quote earlier, something like, a sailor doesn't learn on a calm sea. Anyone can take the helm, something like that, when the seas are calm. Bring your knees back into center and settle in. I like to prop. So here I have my left hand on the inside of my left knee. And as long as that's okay on your wrist, your hands, you know, again, non-aggressive. This can be an effective way to add a little bit more. Not that we need more. I like more. That's one of my big lessons in my life. When is enough enough? When is more enough? The path is the way. It's all individual. The path is the goal. Back to the breath. Bringing ease into the effort. Chest and shoulders open. A good minute or so into the posture, perhaps the right foot can slide a little more down. It doesn't have to be, you know, a huge distance. You can always back off as well. You are your best teacher. And as you settle in, the sensations are going to be what they are. If anything is especially sharp, you know, if you get that alarm, do back off. And this is throughout class, right? At this point, perhaps arms can come to your sides or even overhead into a cactus shape, opening up across the rib cage. Roll your head side to side a few times. Breathe in big. Soften as you exhale. So from this same position into a twist, and we'll move the legs to the right. Use your right foot to walk your whole lower body towards the right. And I like this angle, okay? So try to keep this angle with the right leg at somewhat of a 90-degree. Now, you might come to this shape in the twist and think, oh my God, I don't know about this. You know, give it a moment. Right leg may not be on the floor. I'm just going to preface. The left foot will be somewhat flat to the floor. I'm going to take my right hand to the inside of my left knee and offer a little bit of outward pressure without being aggressive. So this is the eye of the needle legs in a twist, resting on the right hip, shoulders flat to the earth. You can take your left arm wherever makes sense for you, and I'm just keeping mine out to a T for now. So straight out from the shoulder joint. Come back to your conscious breath. Because this is a twist, the amount of the volume, right? The volume of the breath may feel different. Focus on the long, slow, deep breath. That includes the exhale. So from there, notice the tone of the body. Where are you holding tension? Can you be with that for a moment? What does it feel like? What can you relax? Where can you bring ease? Breathe deeply and notice the pull, the stretching across the rib cage, across the abdominal wall. And allow the settling as you exhale. Left foot flat to the earth. The left knee bent. Left hip off of the earth. Can you feel the space and brightness at the left hip? Is that what you'd call it? Notice that. Notice it. Be with it. This is important warming up through the practice today. You guys, that was 3 minutes. Now, to come out, I'd like to first bend the left knee so your legs are together and just rest and twist. Simple twist with both knees bent toward the right. Take a moment and bring your hands behind your head. So you're still in a twist, but it's sort of like you're chilling in a hammock, right? Maybe your left shoulder is lifted, that's okay. Just be right there. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, gently turn your head towards the left, gently. And we'll take 5 breaths here. Shoulders relaxed, elbows relaxed, belly soft. If it feels comfortable, you can straighten both legs toward the right. Otherwise, just keep them bent. Long, slow, deep breathing. And as you finish that 5th round of breath, release your arms again to your sides. Take a cleansing breath, exhale, sigh, and make your way back to our home position. Legs up the wall. Nowhere to be right now. Just here. This moment. Relax the muscles of your face. And gently head side to side a few times. In a easy and steady way. Belly rises and falls. Eyes are soft. Head back to center. Hands onto your thighs, a steady push out. Lengthen your spine. Feel the new space. Perhaps even extending the spine, add a back bend as you push hands onto thighs. Point flex feet. Slide your hands up toward the knees. Take a grip with hands onto the legs. Hold and squeeze. Shake the legs. And let's tap down. Tap, you can use the outer part of your hands, your palms, your fingertips. Tap back up. Back down. All right, so releasing energy, flick, slide your hands up quick and slide, flick, flick toward the feet, up, up. Couple more. This is lovely and lots of benefits, lymphatic, circulatory, the fascia, so many, all the things, all the things. Are you ready for the other side? Let's take a quick wall bridge in between, okay? So bend your knees. So your feet are hips width apart, bend your knees. You can bring your arms to your sides, just like we do in bridge. Press your upper arms into the earth and lift your hips, but only come up so you're still on your rib cage. This is a prep for when we go into our shoulder stand later. Okay, bridge. Press down with elbows, upper arms. Draw your belly in, squeeze your butt, push into the wall with your feet, and gently lower. Preparing the rib cage, preparing the mind. Here we go. Straighten both legs up the wall. Please bend your right leg so your ankle comes to your left thigh bone. Eye of the needle at the wall. Bend your left leg, sole of the foot against the wall. Pause, notice. If your hips are like dramatically lifting, definitely scooch back an inch or two. You might find that on this side, you need to come closer to the wall, further from the wall. You know, it's going to be somewhat of a different experience. It likely will be a different experience side to side. And settle in. If you choose, you can bring your right hand to the inside of your right knee. I like that myself. Adding a little, just a, you know, a gentle guide. I usually say buttress, so like buttress yourself. Imagine a, you know, beautiful cathedral with these elegant, often, sometimes they're a little more rough hewn, but these elegant extensions off the facade, which help support the weight of the structure. Shift your hips a few times, and maybe even here, a minute in, you can slide your left foot further down the wall. What's happening with your breath? If you're making movements, just find a stillness. Stillness. Also the path and the goal. This is so important and often an afterthought. Steady breath, internal focus. Oh, gee, stretch your arms overhead. Stretch, lengthen, and get yourself set up, moving to the other side. So keeping this angle, right leg, left leg, use your left foot to walk down the wall. At any time, if you need a hand, use a hand. And left leg comes toward the floor, and it very likely may not touch, and you may be resting just on the hip. Take a few breaths in that shape. Sometimes it's useful to walk the upper body more over to the side toward we're twisting. So that would be using elbows and maybe the shoulders back of the head gently. LY, gently over to the left. You might place your left hand on the inside of the right knee. I'm going to reach my right arm out away from my shoulder gently. Again, golly, there it is again. Such an open feeling across the chest. Soften into the belly. And breathe. How lucky we are to be on this path. Grounding ourselves. You know, there's this trendy word, earthing. You know, those of us who have been practicing asana and meditation, we know about earthing. We practice it here now. Perhaps you can take this physically out into nature. This being energizing and restorative. We ground ourselves. So the body being the instrument. We have anchor points, or, you know, there's lots of grounding practices. I like the anchor point idea. So finding the heaviest, you know, more noticeable points of contact. And sometimes it's sort of the boniest parts of us. And then we ground through our breath. And just watch the rising and falling. You might have heard the alarm go off, but if not, that was 3 minutes. Unwind your legs, bring your legs together in the bent shape over to the left. Rest there. Take hands behind your head. And if that is not available to you, a cactus shape is fine. Turn your head to the right and take a handful of breaths. No rush. Conscious breath. Be a witness to your breath. Twisting postures. They're energizing, neutralizing. They help with digestion, and that could be like metabolizing emotional stuff, this kind of next level mind stuff, digesting there, helping to move through. This is all very conscious. Make your way to your back. I'm going to slide closer to the wall before I shift my legs up. Up to you if that's your move. We're going to be here for just a handful of breaths and then take a diversion. Anchor your body and breathe. And think anchor, not in a rigid way. So think of that sailing analogy again. You may have an anchor, but it doesn't mean the boat isn't still gently moving, softly, gently. But come to the deeper sense of anchoring, this more inner anchoring. Take a breath and stretch your arms overhead. Make whatever movements feel appropriate. Perhaps add some sounding. And if you're not sure what that is, you can sigh. You can make, close your lips and make little buzzing sounds, hoarse sounds. Three more rounds of breath with added movement if you choose. Soundings if you choose. We're gonna come up to a seated position. I don't have a choreographed way for you to come up, but do be mindful of the weight of head and neck. Come up to seated. And, all right. I hope you guys can see this angle. I changed my angle because I had to plug in my device today. All right, how do I have this set up? All right, so we're gonna do right arm back. So there is like a foot between my shoulder and the wall. Right leg straight, left foot in a half butterfly. Groovy? This won't be a very long hold. You can take your left hand behind you and just sit upright. Depending on your shoulder, you might have your arm in a cactus. Your shoulder is going to dictate this posture. Sit upright and close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. I have my left hand as my buttress on the floor, but you might find that it feels pretty good to have your left hand on the left knee. Steady breaths. Let's add some movement as long as your shoulder feels safe. So simple side to side shifting. My right arm is tingling a little bit, but this is, you know, nothing new for me. I know this of my body, that this is the impingement of, you know, the arm bone and the collarbone. When I release out of it, it will dissipate. So I'm going to stay with it. A little bit of shifting. Just a bit. Just a bit. Take one more breath. Pause. Back in your still place. Come back to the still point. Breathe in. Sigh it out. One more breath in. And slowly, right arm down. I have the claw happening right now. Little bit of the claw. And it's gone already. Because we're in a half butterfly, bring your body square over the right leg and walk your upper body over the right leg, coming to your forearms, your hands. You might even take your elbows down if that is in your body today. Elbows down and thumbs to your eyebrows. And we'll be here for a short time. Of course, if you need to support your weight with your hands on the floor, that is your jam. That's your jam. Shift your weight a few times. Point, flex right foot, shift into the hip joint, add some movement. Take a few more breaths. And release, walk yourself up. Other side, transition, however makes sense for you. So left leg will be straight. Hopefully you have the space. Right leg, bend it, foot against the inside of the left leg. And left arm comes to the wall. Again, that could be a cactus. it might be extended back. And I should have said this on the other side. I hope it was clear. You know, the angle is definitely going to depend on your flexibility and anything you might have going on in the shoulder. And anything from kind of shoulder height to 45 degrees might be a safe place to work. No forcing. And here we go, breathing. It's like a roller coaster sometimes. Here we go, click, click, click. But without anticipation, settle into the breath. Right hand as the buttress on the floor, on your right knee, upright spine. Bring your attention inward. Loving witness. Heartfulness. Notice if tension has crept in. Be with it. I'm laughing because obviously it has crept in. My shoulders are saying, what the hell? My pectoral muscles are like, wait, 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 no, no, no. So bring some ease into the effort and allow. Jaw relaxed. Add a little shift. There are lymph nodes in the armpit, in the, you know, this really kind of sensitive area, shoulder joint, armpit, around the rib cage. It is, you know, sort of an underexplored area for some of us. So we have natural lymph drainage with movement, but some of these longer held postures can help release the stuck energy. A long held posture to allow the yielding into the tissues, the rib cage. Holy smokes, there's so much happening. Rib cage. Collarbones, the arm attachments. Slowly come off of the wall. Set your hand down. Lift your spine and come into the forward fold. Hands can support you. You don't have to be on the wall at all here, guys. Hands support you. Straight arms, maybe forearms down, maybe elbows down, and thumbs to your eyebrows. We have just stretched into the chest muscles, so be aware of those muscles rebelling. Like right away, my right shoulder head, it was like, hey, I'm gonna roll back in because that's what I like. So an awareness of this kind of habitual position for some of us, shoulder heads forward. Breathe steadily. Belly rises, belly falls. Depending on how far forward you are, you might even feel your belly against the left leg. Add a little bit of movement. Oh, okay. Walk yourself upright. Straddle pose at the wall. So we're gonna bring our hips all the way to the wall. It might be useful to have blocks nearby. So I'm gonna grab my blocks. I'm actually gonna grab my bolster as well. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a pillow, a rolled up blanket or two, you know, improvise, people. Okay, straddle. Just like it sounds. My back is against the wall to start, my hips touching. Go to the first edge of resistance and be there. I'll put us on the clock. Okay. Point flex. And zigzag. Zigzag. Some good stuff here with the zigzag. Obviously not yin. Start to zigzag lower. Some of you, I know, have, this is perfect up here. Some of you are, in this body down position. Working in that direction, I just hugged my bolster in. And I'm gonna bring my blocks under the bolster. Hey, so I can snuggle. Snuggle. Perhaps you have blocks and your elbows on the blocks. Perhaps you have elbows on the blocks and your thumb into your eyebrow area. So it's just on the crest there, not in your eye socket. Or thumbs or fingers at cheekbone. Good stuff. Lots of lymph in the face. Sometimes you start, with a lot of bolstering, and then you start to trust the shape, right? Start to trust, have a willingness to trust, have some faith. But, not forcing, not forcing. We move with purpose and mindful awareness. Halfway through, what does it feel like to flex your feet here and add a little bit zigzag? Relax your feet and see if there's a little more space. long, steady breath. Can you deepen your breath so much that you feel your diaphragm descend? As you exhale, feel your diaphragm lift. Can you believe that was 3 minutes? Walk yourself upright. Zigzag if you need to on the way up. I should have done 5-minute hold, huh, guys? Sit upright. Just be there. Bring your hands onto your legs and use your hands to shake. And then sweep. Stuck energy. Go. Let it go. Strengthening our prana body. The lower body is associated with elimination, okay? Apana, this, more shadow energy, Bring your legs together. Sit upright and tall and start to tap. Use the outer part of the hand or the fingertips. So apana, the Sanskrit for stagnation. So we have these vayus, winds in the body, energetic winds, and lots of opportunity to free up the winds, apana, to clear for fresh channels of movement. Science proves this stuff, so it's not just the metaphysics of yoga. Shake out your legs. And oh God, you guys. Okay, so this is kind of the peak of class. So seated upright, have your props near. I'm gonna move mine, I think, to the right. Are we going to the right? Oh no, we're going to the left. So have your props on the left. All of the props. I need some water. Now, so we're coming into the half butterfly again. Right leg straight, left leg bent. Woo. This is side bend. So I'm going to bring my bolster. I guess I'll turn the light on. I just turn it off because it's less pleasant for me. But so I have my bolster now over to the left. We're going to side bend, elbow to the bolster, maybe a block under the bolster. Right arm up and over. So we're going to be here for a while. If you find that you're like, I don't need the bolster, hey, I don't need the block, elbow down. You can prop your head up and take your right arm overhead. And this is going to be the longest 3 minutes for some of us. And for others, you might not even feel anything. Gee. You know what, guys? I'm going the wrong way. I'm sorry. Let's come back up. Rewind that. Okay. Bolster, block to the right. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Oh. Now I feel it. Okay, so same legs, just we're side bending to the right. And I know I'm not mirroring you, so I apologize. If having the left arm overhead is too much, don't do it. If you're like, I can do it for a few breaths and then back off, that's a thing too. And as I illustrated on the other side, the other side, maybe you don't need your block, but just some cushion under your elbow. I have my right hand under the side of my head. Breathing. Shoulders to the wall. Depending on what's happening in left shoulder, that shoulder doesn't have to be at the wall. Breathe into your right side body. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to turn my light back off. There. I have so many props around me. More than halfway through, explore deepening into the side bend. And that might be backing off of the side bend. Less is more, guys. I'm saying that to myself as much as a cue. Breathe into your right side body. Left sits bone down. And take 3 more breaths. Okay, to come out, I'm going to use my left hand to add some leverage to press myself up, slide my upper body back up the wall, and just be there. Bring your right leg back, left leg back. Cleansing breath, exhale. Bring your hands to your legs and just shake gently. Like shiatsu. Slide your hands, flare. That's great. Okay, other side. Now I know which direction to go. So it's left leg out, bend your right leg, sole of the foot toward or at the inner thigh, the bolster all the way to the other side. Right? Okay. This is yin, so we're all about yielding. But there should be, you shouldn't feel like you have to hold yourself upright. Note side to side asymmetries. Perhaps on the side you absolutely need the blocks, perhaps not. So I'm going to start with a block and my bolster, elbow on the bolster. Right arm up and over. And the timer. In Chinese medicine, and of course yin has deep, deep roots in Taoist philosophy. Winter is governed by the element water. And we're in a posture which compresses on the left the kidney and stretches the kidney on the right. So this is a very, very water and winter posture. Water is also the element of emotion. So we have in kind of infinite amount of things to explore in our yin practice. Starting, of course, by grounding ourselves and having breath awareness. The heart and lung meridians terminate from the hands, so working into, across the chest, the ribs, the arm. This has energetic benefit there. Right sits bone down without forcing it. And 3 more breaths. Deep, conscious, long and slow. Bring your right hand somewhere to help push you up. Left hand can join in. Right hand, left hand. And sit upright, breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, Sat. Exhale, Nam. Sat is truth. Nam, sort of I am, or the way. The way is truth. Sat. Nam. Let's bring the legs forward carefully. Oh my gosh. Don't you feel like giggling? Whee! Why not? Let's do a little bit of tap, tap, tapping on the legs. Breathe. Okay, dudes. So we have 10 minutes and I want to show you the shoulder stand plow setup. I'm going to slide my towel, and I'm actually going to use another towel as well. So I have this other thick towel that I'm going to bring onto my mat, and actually I'm going to make it into like a burrito, super burrito, for under the shoulders. And the position will be right at the top of the shoulder heads. So this will give your neck freedom. I rarely ever teach the shoulder stand and plow. Unfortunately, you know, it's just, it can be a challenging posture for people, especially that have neck issues. If you already are like, no way, Jose, back to your back, and I'll give you an option. So everybody, if you feel like you're gonna try the shoulder stand, come up, have your towel, so it's under your shoulders, top of your shoulders, line up with the edge of your roll. If you are gonna skip the shoulder stand today, half, well, it's like the warrior or skandasana at the wall. So if you're gonna skip the shoulder stand, bend your left leg, stretch your right leg straight. And if you need to prop yourself up, bolster, grab your blocks, whatever you need to bolster. If you're coming up into the shoulder stand. And it'll be short. We're not gonna hold this, it's not yin. This is so not yin. So make sure you're, I'm like a full hand and a half, maybe like 9 inches from the wall. Bend your knees so the feet are on the wall. Your whole spine flat to the floor. 90-ish degree angle. Press your upper arms into the floor and lift your hips. So this requires a lot of core strength. And just be here. Breathe. Press your feet strong into the wall. Press your upper arms strong into the floor. Now, if you feel like you want more, so this is kind of like our bridge, right? If you want more, wriggle yourself so you can get your shoulder heads a little bit more underneath you. Of course, you're on the towel or roll, whatever you have under you. So your neck is free, but do not turn your head. Don't move your head and neck too much here. This is part of why this can be so challenging to teach. But you know, these are natural range of motion things. It's just some of us have funky stuff going on. It does require a lot of core strength. Keep pushing your feet into the wall. Bring your hands behind your hips and start to lift your pelvis more. So we're just going to stay here. Press down into the earth with your shoulders, your upper arms, rebound up toward the knees. Squeeze gently at your glutes. Just enough to feel supported. Now, if you feel like going a little bit more, we're just going to do one leg at a time. Lift left leg. Press up through the ball mound like Barbie feet. Press into the wall with your right foot. Keep that leg anchored. If you feel like you're slipping at all, please back out. Be very, very careful. Return left foot back to the wall. If you need a break in between, go ahead and lower your butt down. If you're ready for the other side, right leg off the wall. Press the toe mound, ball mound towards the ceiling. Firm your thigh. Keep driving gently the left foot into the wall. Shoulders down. So very not yin. This is a strong posture. Shoulder stand. It is called the queen of the asana. The queen of the asana. And right foot back down to the wall. Everybody lower carefully. Use your hands. Use your hands like you are holding onto your ass. I mean, you are. And lower yourself. Hold on. Lower. If you are in the half skandasana, make your way up, legs up the wall. Bring your arms into a cactus shape. If you're on the towel, this is a pleasant chest opener here as well. Take an inventory and just notice. Breathe. It takes a lot of strength to hold. It's honestly, I would say it takes even more strength to use the wall than the, free upright shoulder stand. Everybody bring your fingers behind your neck, under where the skull meets your neck, and take a few moments there. Oh, massage. Use your fingers. Apply some upward pressure, pull and stretch. Rotate. Let's take fingers under the cheekbones. Get a little pressure up in there, up in there. Okay, guys, I want a second set of shoulder stand with a plow option. If you don't know what plow is and you have some concerns with your neck or your shoulders or your spine, also contraindications include a herniated height. I can't even say it. It's one of the valves. Be careful with that. Hiatal hernia, there it is. And I think glaucoma, risk of stroke, all of this stuff. Do not move beyond. For those of you going into the other side skandasana, bend your other leg and straighten into the pose. Prop yourself up as you need to. Okay, for those of us coming back up into shoulder stand, right yourself onto your towel. So a thick towel of, you know, this is plenty of space. I mean, it really just gives you enough, like once it's compressed, it gives you enough space that your neck doesn't take all that pressure. Okay, so let's start again. Arms at your sides, push your elbows into the earth, your upper arms into probably your towel, into the earth downward, and lift your hips upward. Bring your hands to your back pockets. Wiggle your shoulder heads underneath you, and you can stay here absolutely. Anyone who would like to move onward into plow, I'm going to teach it with the knees bent first. Please do not turn your head, guys. In yin, this is called snail pose. So hands at your hips, bend one or both knees simultaneously and bring them toward your forehead. Okay, so this is kind of a in-betweener between shoulder stand and plow. From there, straighten one leg and then the other. So your toes are on the earth behind you. And we'll just be here for a little while. This isn't going to be a 3-minute hold. Some of us like to turn the toes under. Some of us like to have the top of the feet flat to the earth. So that's the thing. Hands at the back pockets, the kidney wing, or you can interlace your hands and bring your arms toward the earth. And because I am on my towel roll, my hands aren't actually touching, but there's still the downward action. This is a very active posture. To make it more yin, relax your legs. So then maybe forehead and knees touch, which is very stimulating. Third eye chakra, pituitary gland. Steady breaths. If you feel like you need to come out, guys, bring your hands back to your kidney wing area and slowly lower yourself out. I'm going to stay here for about 5 more breaths. You're welcome to join me. Sat Nam. All of the gymnastics in the world isn't required for that kind of depth of knowing. But this practice, as I've been saying, we're working on the energy body To come out, please bend the knees. So you can pause in that kind of bent leg shoulder stand position and then return one leg at a time to the wall. It's there, I promise. Once your feet are against the wall, use your hands to hold your ass all the way down. And that is the technical term. Lower all the way down. If you're in Skandasana, take a few more breaths and start to make your way out. Carefully, guys, if you have a towel underneath you, your neck might feel especially vulnerable here. So perhaps you can take your towel to the back of your neck or just remove it all the way completely out from underneath you. So we practice the physical shapes, these asana, in a particular way, right? In a mindful way. I made a snide comment about gymnastics, but there is a fine line between just going through shapes and the depth of a yoga practice. More will be revealed. Deepen your breath. Let a wave of love pass. Maybe it's being generated from within, or maybe you're receiving it. Feel it. Inhale, feel belly rise, diaphragm descend, breathe strong. Steady. Exhale, belly falls, and diaphragm lifts. Inhale, sat. Exhale, nam. Please bring your fingers to your chest and tap. Tap your collarbones, your rib cage. You can keep your elbows down. Of course, you can lift your elbows so you have more freedom of movement. Tap onto your chest and breastplate. And yeah, I'm just finishing up the class. Okay. Guys, I've been called to help my husband with some Zoom. I love it. It's so great. So continue to tap here. Once you feel complete, that might include tapping across your cheeks, your eyebrows, across your face. Give your scalp a massage. Tap your arms. Do the little flick motions up the legs. And no rush. I do have to run though. I apologize. Peace. Thank you guys. Namaste.